many people ask me, how can Chinese Americans become more involved? And I say, the question isn't how, but we have to become more involved. Because, as you know, there are many countries where the Chinese move to a new country with nothing, and their children get good education and own their own businesses, and then suddenly they are facing big discrimination. So we must gain more political involvement in the United States of America. We have to register to vote. We have to encourage our businesses not just to contribute money, but to encourage people to run for office. That's the best way to take advantage of democracy, because in many other countries, the Chinese cannot run for office. They cannot register to vote. They cannot even study their own language other than being at home in a dark bedroom studying by flashlight, like Abraham Lincoln did many years ago. So my advice is to get involved and to be involved in the political process. In Southern California, there's an organization called Los Angeles 80-20 that I'm involved in, and they have a very wonderful president named Chu Ching Wang. And this gentleman is a role model, asking people to join with many elected officials to participate in the political process, to attend meetings about different issues. And so we must teach our young people that it is not enough just to get a good education. It is not just enough to get a good job. It is not just enough to marry the right person. It is not just enough to have children, but we must give back. And the best way that we can give back is to make sure that our young people will have more opportunities than we did. If we don't get involved in the political process and run for office, then very quickly people will forget the past, and we will see more and more discriminatory laws passed against minorities like the Chinese. And so I think it's very, very important that we look at every law. There's a law recently about banning certain types of foods that Chinese Americans eat, and I think we have to be very, very careful, because that's the way that discrimination can come, very slowly at first. And if we don't look at these laws in the beginning, then the laws in the end will become worse and worse. Immigration reform is something we must get more involved in. A lot of our own people wait 10 to 25 years for their relatives to come here. That's not right. We do pay our taxes, and we have the right to expect our government to allow us to unite with our families. The Chinese Americans work very hard to come here legally, and we must find a way for them to speed up the process, because if they petition their brother and their brother is 40 years old, the brother will be 65, the sister will be 65, the children will be already grown and can't come with them. And so that's what we must do. We must always look at the way that we have looked at our laws in the past. We must run for office, register to vote, elect the right candidates, whether they're Chinese Americans or otherwise, that will help us on our quest for equality. Remember, democracy is a very bad thing to waste. So many people have died in countries where they were striving for democracy, even today in countries like Egypt and in other countries like that. So we must not grow fat, we must not grow complacent, we must not feel that we have made it, we have arrived, because we have not yet arrived. Our train is still moving toward a greater America with more opportunity for all, where I hope that I live someday to see the first candidate run for president, the first Chinese American or Asian American governor of my state of California. I hope that it's not too late. I hope that I can contribute to that. I hope that all of you will look very carefully at how we Chinese Americans develop our skills and develop our coalition building so that one day the whole world can look at us and say, wow, we're so proud of the Chinese Americans in the United States of America.